Hey y'all, welcome back to Tobacco Leaf Legacies and Celebrate Crafts. I'm Cheryl. I have got my cute little friends with me today, Oscar and Mickey. We're going to talk about Christmas crafts. So in this video, I have just a few Christmas crafts that I just had so much fun doing. I've said in the other craft videos, if you have watched them, that I've been wanting to get to this for, a couple years, and y'all know everything that I have had going on in the last couple of years, and so there has been zero time to be able to do anything. So it has been really fun in the last couple months to be able to finally get to do some things that I have been wanting to do for so long. And these crafts, there's only a handful, but these are ones that once again, a couple of them are ones that I have watched other DIYers do, and I was just like, oh, that looks like so much fun. I want to do that. You'll see I call it hot chocolate glass with the faux topper thing. You'll see what I mean. That's one of those. And the really cute gingerbread house that is made from a Dollar Tree dollhouse. I have seen so many of those videos where they took just these simple little plastic doll houses from the Dollar Tree and turned them into something cute. And those are ones I've been chomping at the bit to do. So those were a lot of fun. The one with the bells, that is one that just kind of happened in the store. I was in Dollar Tree and I saw these bells and I just thought, well, that's really cool. I don't like the gold. I am not a gold person at all. Not the color, not the jewelry. I just don't like gold. I don't know. But I saw these and I thought, ooh, but I can put something else on these and I can do something else with them. So that is one of those that it just kind of happened in the store. You see something, it's like, I can do something with this. Okay. And then the Santa one, that kind of started that way. I was actually in a thrift store and I started looking at the glass pieces and different things when I ran across the Santa bag, right? I don't know where it came from. I don't know what was originally in it, and then it had a couple other things in it, and I took that and I immediately saw the Santa legs sticking out of it. And so I was like, okay, how am I going to put this together? And sometimes that's the fun part, is you get maybe kind of half an idea and it's like, okay, but where do I take it from here? Like, how do I do what I'm seeing in my head? People that are not creative, that's probably a nightmare to them. But other people like me, it's kind of fun because then it's like, okay, well, I need to find something that will do what I want it to do or look how I want it to look. And so I just had so much fun doing these. My question, do y'all like gingerbread? Apparently that is like the hot decoration theme, whatever, for this year. Y'all, I have been doing gingerbread stuff for probably 20 years. That was like when I moved out of my parents' house into my own place. It's funny, I think I started with poinsettias. I started with that, but as soon as I saw gingerbread, I was like, oh no, that's definitely more my style. And so since the mid 90s, at least, I have been collecting gingerbread stuff and decorating with gingerbread, and it's just my favorite, and I continue to add to that. This little guy that I just showed you, Mr. Oscar, in his gingerbread cookie form. He's new this year. Isn't he cute? He's so cute. And Oscar's my favorite. Total diversion to crafts here. Who's your favorite Sesame Street character? Now, Snuffleupagus is ranks right up there because, Snuffleupagus is awesome. But Oscar the Grouch, my favorite.
Oh, well, if you can't beat them, join them!
And speaking of gingerbread, we have gingerbread right here. All right, let me show you what I made. All right, so this first one here is one that I was telling you. I found those gold bells in Dollar Tree and decided I wanted to do something with them. This little half piece left over here is from something I made in the fall craft video. It probably would have helped to have had a bigger paintbrush here, but that's okay. I went ahead and gave it just a coat of white paint and went ahead and did the edges too. Then I cut this decoration that they had on the bells off because I was not about to use that. Then I took Rub and Buff. This is something that was new to me. It's kind of like a paint, if a paint and stain had a baby, I guess is kind of the easiest way to explain it. And I put that on because I was hoping that I would get more of a bell-like finish, which I did. So I was very excited about that. Then it came time to put it on. And y'all, I've really got a love-hate relationship with hot glue. It serves a purpose, but I'm learning that when it comes to plastic, when it comes to glass, because of those surfaces, it doesn't stick real well. So I ended up having to go back with some E6000. The Merry Christmas here, you'll see how that looks very retro. It's because it is. I picked that up at like a secondhand store and I just thought, oh, it's perfect. It kind of reminds me of the 80s and 90s as far as how the decor looked. So I thought that would be really pretty on top. I also should have, when I had the hot knife and was cutting off the little pieces on top of the bell, yeah, I should have done that before I glued them down. But like I said, I'm still learning. The edges needed a little something, so I got out some green ribbon that I had and hot glued that on just to kind of finish that up. You'll see inside the bells, I actually went back later and took the Rub and Buff and did inside there as well. This I thought would be cute, to take some Mod Podge, to kind of go over where it looked like faux snow on the letters, and then take actual faux snow from Dollar Tree and put on top of that, just to give it a little extra oomph. Then I decided, okay, well that worked well enough, so let's take the same Mod Podge and go around the very edge of it and take the faux snow and do that as well. The pieces are kind of big. I had to kind of go in twice and do that. I also put a little bit on the flat surfaces of the board and just sprinkled some glitter on there. Then we needed something to put in the middle of the bells. And so I just got some of the greenery that I had, cut some pieces off, cut some of the faux berries off, and then placed them here in the center. That really kind of finished it off and made it look extra nice. When I did the hot glue here, I also made sure to put down the side where I had cut it because it did leave a little bit of a stub there. This one kind of goes back to sort of the faux toppers that I did in the fall video. But I found this cute glass at Dollar Tree and I thought, okay, I can do something with this. Now I painted the inside of this with acrylic paint. You can also take Mod Podge and mix it with paint and pour it in there and then kind of swirl the glass around. I was happy with how I did it though. I may try that next time. I took a little wooden gingerbread and painted him with brown acrylic paint and then added some little details on him. He's going on the top. Now we're back to the spackle. Pretty much did this the same way as in the other video. Cut a little styrofoam ball in half, glued it down to the plate, and then got my spackle ready. I added just a little bit of water to get it the right consistency to put in the bag into pipe. There is a whipped clay that I have been hearing about that I think next time I try something like this, I'm going to try the whipped clay and see what that does. People are really loving that. All right, once you get it in the bag, then it's just time to pretend like it's regular whipped cream and put it on top of the styrofoam circle. Of course, this starts pink, and then as it dries, it'll turn white. But while it's wet, I took the decorations that I wanted to put in there. I got these little faux candy cane pieces from a shop on Etsy. I had to cut my little gingerbread so that he would fit in the top better, make it look like he was sticking out of the whipped cream. And then I had little, you'll see them actually in a later bit, but I had itty bitty little faux peppermint pieces, and that was what I was taking the tweezers with and putting it on top. I started to try to slide it off of here, and I realized that was not going to happen, so I actually just trimmed real close around it, kept it on the styrofoam, took the E6000 and glued it right on top. Like before, I like taking the Mod Podge on the spackle. When the spackle dries, it dries very flat, very plain, and so the Mod Podge just makes it nice and shiny. I had this cute ribbon that I decided to tie on the bottom. It just needed a little something extra. All right, guys, this one started with me finding this Santa sack in a thrift store. That vase right there, I also got at the thrift store, but the other pieces I got at the Dollar Tree, except for the boots, which I got at Target. I stuffed some plastic bags down in there to make sure to give it a full bag shape. Then it was time to figure out Santa's legs. I knew the pool noodles would work best, but I also knew that they had to fit in the vase. So I had to cut them down and test them a few times to make sure I was going to get the right height and get them to fit best. Now, this stocking I got at Dollar Tree was perfect. I cut the top off of it, and then I went through and basically cut it in half so that I could wrap it around the pool noodles for Santa's pant legs. The material was just kind of like the perfect red. I decided to take the piece of the white that I cut off because that was going to go perfect on top of the boot. The boot had a white piece that I could have glued, back on it and used it, but putting this on there just made it a little bit more realistic. And it matched the red better too. Okay, time to glue these on. Just use some hot glue. Hot glue does work really well. I had said, I'm learning it doesn't work so well with some plastics and glass and things, but when you're using material like this, it is awesome. Just took the edges and wrapped them around and secured them. And I had to make sure of where my front and back was since I was putting them in at an angle because of where I'd cut the pool noodle. Then I decided, I'm going to need something in the pool noodle to make sure where I can kind of move his legs how I want them. So I had some older wire hangers, which I just cut and stuck through the pool noodle, and then it worked out perfect so that I would be able to kind of place them where I wanted them instead of them just sticking straight up. I ended up, you see the piece of the wire, I ended up bending it to make it fit right, but then that way with it inside, I could bend them and place them where I wanted them, and then I just added the candy canes at the end. Y'all, I think this is my favorite one, although I have to say it was the most tedious one. You'll see all the faux candies that I got online from some different shops on Etsy. This is a dollhouse from the Dollar Tree. If you've been in Dollar Tree in the toy section, you have seen it. So I decided I wanted to make a little gingerbread house out of this. And just for the record, I have actually never decorated a kind of typical gingerbread house in my entire life. So this was my first. I started out trying to cover it with acrylic paint. Y'all don't do that. Just go get some spray paint. That's what I ended up doing. So I ended up spraying the bottom of it brown and the top of it white. I also sprayed the little window pieces, and they're pretty easy to snap back in. And then it was time to decorate. And here I kind of struggled with initially. I tried to put hot glue on top, and then, I couldn't get things on it quick enough because hot glue starts drying so quickly. So I tried to use some puff paint on top, and that didn't work either. And I ended up having to go back to the hot glue, but just doing every piece individually. And that's why I said a little tedious, but at the same time, it was a lot of fun to decorate it and figure out where I wanted all the little faux candy pieces to go. If you want to be doubly sure that these pieces aren't going to go anywhere because, again, hot glue, so it'll pop off at some point, you can always do it with E6000 instead. I did have a lot of fun sitting here though and kind of figuring out where all the little pieces were going to go and how I wanted the colors to go. It was very fun to do. I think too, when it comes to painting on plastic like this, if it's something that you want to be sure isn't going to get scratched at some point, once your spray painting is done, go over it with a clear sealer. And that's something else that I kind of wish that I had done with this. Now you will see here in a minute, it ends up on a board, and I think I ran out of battery power and did not know it. What I did was I found the base at Hobby Lobby in clearance, and then I just got a candy cane looking piece of scrapbook paper and cut that and put it in the center, so then that way I could use E6000 to secure my house to the base. And then I just thought it needed some trees. So I got these at the Dollar Tree, and then I just trimmed them up there on the side. And we have to have a bow on the top. Okay, y'all, that is all I have to show you in this video. Hope you enjoyed seeing my crafts. It would be nice if you let me know which one was your favorite. If you've made something like that, maybe you would like to try to make something like that. Keep saying they're all just so much fun. I have really missed having a creative outlet. Said in many prior videos that I've always been creative in some form or another, whether it was an actual craft, whether it was writing, just whatever it was, there's always been something. And the last couple years, understandably, I, had other priorities and things I had to take care of, but I have also felt very stifled in that way. And creative folks, you know what that feels like, and you know what that does to you when you feel like you kind of can't be yourself, and And that's really hard. It's really hard. So I'm just so relieved, I guess, to be back to mostly a normal routine and being able to do some cutesy stuff and catch up. There's probably only going to be a couple other videos till the end of the year, and one of them is going to be an update video where I talk about how next year is going to be. There will be some changes for various reasons, but I will go into that in that video more, so make sure that you watch that. I appreciate all your comments and likes and all that, and remember, every time you comment, every time you like something, it's telling me that you're supporting me and what I'm doing. And it also tells YouTube and YouTube's algorithms, those little pains in the butts that they are, it also tells them that, you know, you like what you're seeing and you like supporting me, and that you want others to find me and others to support me, because that is how I can sit here and, you know, talk all day long, and it's a very one-sided, obviously, sort of thing, because I am just sitting and talking and looking at that little camera. But once it's posted, now I'm talking to you. Now I'm talking to you directly because you're watching me. The only way that I know that you're seeing it, that you like it, that you support me, that you, I don't know, think the crafts are, you know, whatever it is by hitting like or by making a comment. You know, it's one of those, it's really hard because it's really easy to get bogged down in looking at numbers, because let's face it, that's all I've got. Like, all I've got on my side to check is stats, you know, so I either have the stats or I have comments, you know, I have things like that. So that's all I've got on this side to be able to gauge what is happening and what y'all think and what you like and whatever. And of course, you know, I hear people saying, well, you know, you just make what you want and we're here, and that's wonderful, and I do, because I mean, ultimately that's why this started, and I will continue to do that. But at the same time, it's nice to know that people are out there watching and giving me feedback. And like I said, that feedback, it can be a simple comment, it can be a simple like, you know, that kind of thing. It's very important to me. It's very important to YouTube, because without that, other people don't find me. Other people don't get to, you know, hear the stories, you know, forget the craft stuff for the moment, but they don't get to hear the stories of when I'm talking about my grandparents and when I'm sharing that stuff and those memories and those locations and going through that process and the part 2 of that process when it goes on. You know, people won't get to see that if YouTube doesn't somehow pick me up in algorithms, and it gets to be kind of a crazy thing. But nonetheless, just wanted to take a minute and mention that. Give me a little like, give me a little comment. It really makes all the difference in the world to me, to YouTube, so that it will, you know, help other people come find me and I can connect with other people. I respond to every comment that y'all make. I love every single comment. I love whether you're just saying something's cute, whether it's a video that has been, you know, about something on the grandparents' land, when somebody has shared a story with me about their past, it means everything. It truly does. You're not numbers, you're people. But the only way that I know you're there is by the comment, is, you know, by the likes and that kind of thing. So as always, thank you so much for being here and for watching and subscribing and liking and commenting and whatever it is that you feel moved to do at the time, because I just appreciate all of it. And as always, time is precious. Carpe diem. Seize the day. I'll see you next time.